What's up, guys? So let's go over the watch list going into next week. We've got Christmas next week. So happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Um, hope you guys get a lot of good time with your family and all that good stuff. Um, and remember the reason for the season, right? And we have a shortened week next week, so let's go over some stocks, setups, all that good stuff, kind of things that I'm watching in the next week. So, first things first, let's take a look at the score sheet. So, as of Friday's close, I'm making this video Friday night. So, what we're seeing here when we take a look at the indexes, grading the quality of the chart, best score is out of 70. Um, Probably. So, you can either have a negative 70 or 70. Okay. And so you can see here QQQ still ranking out as the best, RSP ranking out as the worst. IWM is now slotted into that worst index outside of the RSP. So you could see the Dow and IWM earlier this week were doing pretty neutral. So now you can see we are starting to see that the IWM has taken that worst spot. And you can see we had a negative 41, and we've gotten a little better since FOMC's sell off. And then you can see we also got a little bit better across the board for the key names. You can see that there it was a 157. Now it's currently a 187 or 189. And then as for the sectors as a whole, they are a little bit better, 40 points better, so about 4% better, but we're still underperforming pretty severely. So we're about 5% better in each category, it's looking like. So we are improving. We're in the right track, right? But as you can see, these key Big Ten names are the ones that are performing in the market. Pretty much every single sector is either um, in negative territory in terms of chart grading or is neutral. And then we've got a couple of standouts where we've got tech, which is pretty much flat, but we do have XLY, which has an 8, which is not by no means good, but it's one of the better ones out there that's not negative, right? And then we can see that, where was it? Jets is actually, I think I might have plugged this in wrong. Jets, if I remember correctly, had pretty solid score. Oh, I'm looking at yesterday's. Okay, or day before. Okay, so now you can see here. Okay, now we're more accurate. Okay, so XLK, my bad. So XLK, we have a 10, right? So 10 score 10, which is a bit better than the score we had before of 3. I probably need to quit flipping around. But you can see then XLY has a 9. So really those are the two leading sectors. So Tesla, Amazon for XLY, but then you've got NVIDIA and Apple, Microsoft, the ones leading in this tech area. But really we want to notice that like all of these are pretty negative. But then we get to Jets. And so Jets is actually has a score of 28, so this chart is pretty bullish. So actually, it's the most bullish sector out there right now. So it's pretty interesting. It's actually the best performing sector out there. It's got a daily squeeze. It's at support, trading around that 21. And interestingly enough, this is the better performing one. So like names like UAL, this might be setting up. LUV, I believe, is the top holding. So we'll want to pay attention to that. So that is also performing well. Um, Dow. So I would say based on these, UAL is probably that best looking chart, right? So above this resistance, above that 100 area, we can go back to a new high and potentially 110. So let's keep an eye on that. This has got a score of a 29. Let's see, how's Dow look? A 6, LUV, 19, AAL. How's that one look? 27. So that's what we're along the same lines there. Um, so maybe we'll want to watch UAL, BAL, and then I'm just gonna pull this up real quick. Uh, the top holdings in here just to make sure that I'm accurate. But obviously, Jets is performing well, so we need to pay attention to that. So can't ignore the ranking. So UAL is the top holding, DAL, and then AAL, and then LUV. So yeah, I think we hit it pretty spot on. So UAL is and AAL are the ones that we're going to want to watch. So personally, I'm going to keep an eye on UAL. It's a little bit higher price stock. I prefer that. It's got that daily squeeze. And we can look for an entry once we break this resistance level. So go ahead and set an alert there. So you can do this as well if you have the algo trader. So any buy signal alert, and then we'll look for breakout. Looks like we've kind of had this downtrend line and we're trying to break that now. So if we get above this support resistance, I think $100 calls would be really nice there. So continuing through the sheet, we can see here IWM worst ranking, right? It's taking that negative spot. And we have a negative score on SPY, DIA, IWM, but for the most part neutral. RSP has gotten 1 point better. IWM's gotten 1 point better. SPY's gotten a little worse. DIA has gotten a little better. Cut that negative score in half, and then QQQ just hanging out. So tech still seems to be what is in play. And then as for everything else, you can see it's pretty negative across the board, right? So we've got negative 237 out of negative 19 or 1190. And then you can see here that we've got a positive score across the board on the key names, and we've got a negative score. So obviously money flow is particularly in here, and Jets for whatever reason. So you can see like some of these names here, they're really underperforming, like the XLU. So safety really is what we're seeing. So I think one thing that we can throw in here as well would be gold. So if we look at GLD, it's pretty rough. It's -8. GLD, -8. I could probably leave that off. We'll just keep that. So, anyways, there we go. So that's what we're looking at. That's what we're seeing. I hope this makes sense. And that's kind of the board. Now let's dive into, okay, what are these key names that are holding up really well? Apple, clear, clear, clear standout. Let's go take a look. Apple has a 49 out of 70. Okay. So Apple's got the best looking chart out there right now, has relative strength. So what you can see is it's got a 49, nice numbers across the board. We've got a 2 hour, a 4 hour, weekly buy signals. So the thing is, it's a little extended. So personally, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be waiting for the next 30-minute squeeze. So we had nice 30-minute squeezes here, 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 and they've all performed pretty well. So I'm waiting on when's the next time I can get a 30-minute squeeze to enter into this and potentially take it in 260. So that's the best looking chart out there in terms of these big boys here. And then second behind that, AVGO, which was a pretty strong performer today and it's kind of a momentum stock right now. So we want to pay attention to that. It was performing well today, and then it looks like it sold off pretty hard into the close. So I'll be keeping an eye on this. Can we hold this support level around 220? And then I'd like to trade that to the upside back into this 240 resistance area. So let's keep an eye on that as well. And then Google, this one still pretty solid. We go to the daily time frame. Looks like we're just consolidating here a little bit. We had some strong buyers in clearly today. And then how about Amazon or ABGO? How the buyers look? Yep, some strong buying volume. And then Apple, yeah. Okay, so Apple is by far the best looking chart out there. So we're going to want to keep an eye on this one. This is my top priority in terms of these big names here. And then that's what we're looking at into next week. Okay. And Apple's top priority for me personally in terms of these uh, major names. So then if we continue through, we can take a look at the symbols that I have on my watch list here. So BBWI. So this one had a gap up on earnings. We're at resistance. So I would like to see us break this resistance first, and then we could potentially play this to the upside. It does have 4-hour buy signals. We're now trading above the anchored VWAP. So I'm looking for, okay, can we get above this resistance around 40? Set an alert there. Let's see if we can get above this resistance right here. Probably mark it right there, that level. And then once we get above there, because that's a longer term level, I'll be looking for can this one continue upside? It's got a 31 chart reading, so that's pretty good. I mean, it's no Apple, but pretty solid. Okay, and then as we continue through, if we look, we can just run through all these names. So quantum names have been performing really well. As of recently, you can see this 48 score here. So I am keeping an eye on these names. We've got strong relative strength. That RS percentage is insane. So is the alpha. So we want to pay attention to those as well. Palantir 57. This is a better ranking than Apple, right? This one had been choppy for a while, but then you can see what happened was we got these buyers that started to step in. So you can see how we were printing signals here and there weren't really any buyers, right? We were printing signals here, there weren't really any buyers until the end of the day. But then you can see here, once we got this buy signal, we were getting buyers, 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 buyers all through here. And you can see we continued to push volume and then we got buyers into the close as well. So I'm thinking we've got a daily, we've got 4-hour, we've got 2-hour, all of these things in our favor, looking for a push higher. So I want to continue to pay attention to this name because this is a momentum name. We've got $90 up here. We're currently trying to trade above 80. So I think we should pay attention to, okay, can we get another 30-minute squeeze and then pop into 80? And then what about $100? I don't think it's that far off. It's a relative strength name. It's been going crazy all year. So let's keep an eye on that. This is probably the most bullish chart out there as we continue through. This one I did day trade a little bit today. Just off this 30-minute squeeze. I'm not too interested with the VIX trading at its elevated levels. Let's take a look at it real quick. So you can see the put call is starting to correct, which we need. The dollar came in a little bit, but we had those buy signals that made the dollar pop into a new 52-week high. And so that's pretty critical. And then you could see here that we're just printing inside days inside of this giant candle. And then lastly, rates, they're bouncing at support or resistance. So let's keep an eye on this, keep an eye on these levels, and we'll revert it back to the mean for uh, the VIX. I want to see, can we hold below 20? Once we get below 20, I'd be more comfortable swinging. Can the dollar chill out a little bit, all that good stuff. But until then, I'm a little more focused day trading, shorter term, like catching these 30-minute signals and then not trading or not holding them through overnight. unless it's like a position that I've trimmed significantly on. So like this one here, we had this 30-minute signal, got in on this candle here, had a nice push up. We had buyers stepping in all the way through. So, and it was just a nice 30% trade. So the I am looking for continued upside in this. We did have some big volume. You can see buyers are continuing to step in on this as well. You can see on the daily time frame, we had almost 200% the normal volume that we have. This one is a clear momentum name and relative outperformer, so I'm keeping an eye on this. Can we continue to trade higher on this name? Okay. IONQ, this is one of the quant names or quantum names. This is one of the outperformers, so I really am paying close attention to this. I think that this is one we want to pay attention to. So I think that this has breakout potential if we can get above this resistance level here. If we break above there, look for that next 30-minute squeeze. This was the first one, was a little too extended for me to want to enter, but if we can print a 30-minute squeeze and get above this resistance, we've got $50 coming up. But we want to pay attention to the quantum names because they are performing really well and have been outperforming the market. Walmart. This one's starting to fall apart a little bit. We can go ahead and move that one. TVA. I still needed to check what the news was on this. Court decision, delisting. Uh, okay, I'm gonna have to do a little more research on this name, but because I'm not really too sure what that news is, but obviously price is reacting well to it, so I want to keep that in mind. I think this will be an easy one to play the next 30-minute squeeze. You can see the momentum, and we're catching it early. We got this gap up. We're continuing to see buyers stepping in. I would like to see some volume start to pick up on a 30-minute squeeze, and we can trade this one to the upside. And then I think it's got more room to go. We've broke out of this longer term consolidation that we were in from May May 10th to, yeah, that was about a 5-6 month consolidation that we just broke out of. So we need to look for continuation in the same. Speaking of consolidation breaks, we want to look at Urban Outfitters. This is one that I talked about on Friday a little bit in the live trading. But you can see here we had this consolidation since 2006. We've finally broke out of that, and it's seen some clear momentum. We've got relative strength showing up. And so I would like to be a buyer in this name. You can see some buying volume came in on Friday. I'm looking for, can I get another 30-minute entry like this right here and catch a move up? I think I can, or we can look for a move up into this resistance up here. Any other standout names that I'd like to point out to you guys? Alta. So this one came up on resistance, but we got to be aware of the fact that this just broke out of this longer term consolidation is trading at support. As long as we can hold this support, let's look for a breakout back into this resistance. I think we've been creating this pretty clear resistance right around 430. That's a little low. 433. So really, if we can clear 435, this level here, this longer term level, if we can clear that, look for a 30-minute, and then we take it up into that 450 area. So there are the plays and trades that I'm looking at. Other than that, I don't think anything is too notable. DocuSign is probably the last one. You can see here we're consolidating, just flagging down into that 21 EMA. We've got $100 up there. Let's look for the next spot to enter and trade this one to the upside. So I hope this helps. I hope you guys find some value in this. So we definitely want to keep an eye on Apple. I should probably add that to my watch list tab. And these are kind of the key names we want to pay attention to. You can take a screenshot, review these on your own, but these are the stocks that are currently in my watch list. I'll clean it up a little bit more, but I gave you guys my favorites. Um, and I think a few of them are ready to run, and we just need to find outperformers into next week. So I hope this helps. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you for the markets next week.